Your Excellency, the responsibility that we have also goes with accountability. The constitutional commissions and independent offices have immense mandates and powers, hence the need for accountability. As they discharge these powers, we must ask ourselves whether we are sufficiently giving back for all the privileges and the powers that we enjoy. Are we delivering services to our people? And unfortunately, there is no clear oversight structure in place that ensures accountability regarding how constitutional commissions and independent offices carry out their mandates. I will bring to your attention that on 15th April 2014, that is about 10 years ago today, a 5-judge bench of the High Court delivered a judgment in a case of Judicial Service Commission versus the Speaker of the National Assembly and 4 others, and made the following pertinent observation and recommendations, and I quote, "The Constitution has brought fundamental changes in the governance structure of our country, including through the introduction of no less than 12 new constitutional commissions and independent offices. Their number and the complexity of overseeing these new institutions with their new important yet diverse functions means that there is a need for Parliament to be innovative in order to efficiently carry out its oversight role over these new entities, so as to realize real benefits for the people of Kenya, and further, in order to facilitate better working relationship between organs of state that enhance performance of their respective constitutional mandates for the people of Kenya." The court made the following recommendations. 1, Parliament to consider establishment of a special committee within Parliament dedicated to oversight all the independent offices and commissions. 2, Parliament considers developing an appropriate structured oversight model that takes into account and facilitates strategic and structured scrutiny of state organs by Parliament with the aim of advancing our constitutional democracy, enhancing service delivery, and better quality of life for the people of Kenya. It is now 10 years since these recommendations were made by the High Court, of the need for the country to put in place a structured mechanism for oversight of the constitutional commissions and independent offices, including through establishing a committee of the National Assembly to undertake this role. However, this has not been done to date. It is time this recommendation is implemented to ensure that full spectrum of constitutional expectation of independence and accountability is realized with respect to the operations of independent institutions. It is also important for each constitutional commission and independent office to come up with internal accountability mechanisms. For example, at the Judicial Service Commission, we've been discussing how we can come up with a mechanism for evaluation of the commissioners to enhance accountability, much the same way as it is done by the state corporations, by the Inspectorate of the State Corporations and the State Corporations Advisory Committee. There is nothing that oversees the constitutional commissions and independent offices. We have not gotten there as Judicial Service Commission, but I believe this is the best forum to come up with a resolution so that we have a standard and coordinated approach to measure performance as Chapter 15 institutions and independent offices. In addition, coming with such a mechanism will enable us comply with the judgment by the 5-judge bench of the High Court that I have just referred to. Your Excellency, at the Judicial Service Commission, we have also come up with operating procedures, practices that guide us in every aspect of the mandate of the JSC. That is a best practice that can be emulated by other Chapter 15 institutions to enhance accountability. But we are also open and continuously learning from the other institutions. Recently, we invited the Public Service Commission to also come to our aid in terms of our own evaluations. This is shared responsibility. To conclude, Your Excellency, the collaborative approach envisaged in the Constitution is that what is expected is for all of us to work together in a coordinated manner so that we are not sabotaging one another, but we are supporting one another. We must all strive to engage in interinstitutional dialogue and cooperation focused on mutual respect as expected in collaborative governance process. The NG has eloquently spoken about independence and interdependence, and that is one thin area that I believe we will be able to navigate during this 3 days conference and come up with a framework that can inform the public that no one institution can succeed if they work in a silo. But we must jealously guard our independence when we work together so that no one institution is compromised. It is
this opportunity on behalf of the President, my boss, confirm that his administration has total and tremendous respect for independent offices and the constitutional commissions. You know, the first act of President William Ruto when he was sworn in office on 13th September in 2022 was to restore the independence of the judiciary. His first act that very afternoon was to gazette the judges who had been approved by JSC and had not been gazetted, and the following day they were sworn in, and I was there. So I remember. Because we respect independent institutions. Number two is to give financial autonomy to the National Police Service. The Inspector General of Police is the accounting officer of all monies given to the police so that he is not controlled from anywhere else. Because there is a saying that he who pays the piper calls the tune. So the police are independent. They have their own money to do what they want to do. The Chief Justice is here. She has a hotline. She can confirm that President William Ruto has never called her any day to rule, to have the judiciary determine a matter favorable to government. The judiciary has given many rulings that have made our life very difficult. But despite that, we respect the independence of the judiciary. And that is why we have even upscaled the budgetary provision to the judiciary to give them more funds to dispense justice to the people of Kenya. The president has never called the DPP to say charge so and so, don't charge so and so. The president has never called the Auditor General to say, I want you to order this or that report that has an indictment against one of my PSs. And that is the way it should be. And we'll continue to respect independent institutions and allow them to do their work. Where there are issues, we will reach out. And when we had a big problem with the judiciary, in our view, and we thought the judiciary was making it difficult for us to implement the plan, we are grateful that in the spirit of this framework, the Chief Justice and the JSC reached out, and we had a good conversation. Not to interfere with their independence, no, just for us to engage and raise our concerns. And they raise their concerns as well. And that is the way it should be. When we engage, it is not that any of us want to encroach on your independence. It is good for people to talk. Because when people talk, they clear things that can create a serious misunderstanding when it is not necessary. So I want to confirm that the executive will continue to respect independent offices, to respect your independence, and will continue to the extent possible to facilitate your work through provision of adequate resources. And where we have challenges in terms of giving you adequate resources, we'll create a forum to explain to you the challenges that we are facing. So we also, in the same manner, appeal to you also to facilitate our work, oversight government, criticize positively, suggest where we can do better, correct us where we are wrong, but of course with facts and with good intention, and we shall comply. We are more than ready. And I think we also want to be oversighted so that we can have good governance. Oversight is good, and we want to encourage. And that is why the President initiated a suggestion to Parliament that is now being worked on, that we create by law the office of the Leader of Official Opposition and fund that office, give that office staff and researchers so that they can put the government in check in a dignified manner. Instead of going to the streets, just go to Parliament.